Well, what a fun day out that was for everyone. South Africa avoid the clean sweep. 2-1 the series ends. India gets their series win. Everyone's having a nice time. South Africa hits 227. India, does it even matter? You know, after the game, Rohit Sharma was saying, well, we're concerned about, Sky's form, etc. Axar Patel batting 6. Everyone's having a nice time. DK batting 4. It's a great day out. Riley Rousseau scored some runs. What a great, fun experience this was for everyone.
Views through the roof for this show for TGC.
Welcome back, South Africa. Hello.
He's Maha roof as well, not to be confused with. Yeah, Look, there are things to go through, obviously. Rousseau's 100, India's bowling. What do we reckon? Probably bears no reflection on what's going to happen out in Australia.
Yeah.
Chahar missed a run out, and I thought that could have changed the game.
They could have done, yeah.
I thought that could have changed the game. Rahar stepping on the, what's his name? Rousseau stepping on the stumps on his way to 100. I don't know, man.
What a day.
I think when India's missing 2 massive guns, they're playing 6 frontline bowlers, Axar Patel's bowling the chop out and batting 6. I think we know India's got the feet up.
This was a day out on the beach. Day out on the beach was actually where Siraj caught that ball when it went for 6. Riley Rousseau's day out. That's our first thing we're talking about, Pez. Riley Rousseau's day out. He's gone 0-0-100 red in this series. His last innings before this in India, you'll recall, 2016. That's right, 2016. He got a duck there as well. So his last 4 innings in India have been duck, 2016, duck. So he's in Duck City. And then he heads over here and gets 100 red. So he's really turned the tide there. He's gone from 0 to 100 real quick.
That's what Temba Bavuma's looking at that, going like, see, I'm just around the corner.
Hanging there for 6 years.
Just around the corner. Bavuma, he averaged 1 this series at a strike rate of 16.
Oh, come on.
That sounds like That sounds like me in the last few years of my grade career as well. We've all been there.
Yeah. Well, like just before we get to TB, let's talk about Rousseau because he's had a day out.
Yeah.
First T20 100, he's hit it in 48 balls. Unbelievable. He actually helped South Africa post their 4th highest score. I'm going to guess their 5th highest score was when they lost and hit 221 a couple of days ago. Rousseau took down Siraj. He took down Boys Yadav. He took down Ashwin a little bit. But Pez, did I see a ball go to the offside? Do you need to?
Yeah.
How's his wagon wheel, Pez?
That's the Aussie response. How'd you go today, Riley? 100 off 48 rocks? Yeah, have a look at the wagon wheel.
And he threw fucking cover?
Yeah. Just you know what? Just bowl one side of him. Just bowl one side of this bloke. It looked good. It's funny actually. Like just reading a few of the analyses from Indian media in relation to this series that India won, and I think for both games comfortably before they put the feet up and on the beach. There just appears to be positivity for South Africa and what they're taking into the World Cup and a little bit of concern, a little bit of that ICC tournament jitters concern for India that I'm not sure. I think it's a little bit overblown. I think India should be as good a shot as anyone, really. But, South Africa emerged 2-1 losers from this series, but somehow they're going to take a couple of guys who are in some form. Like De Kock's found a bit of form now. David Miller. He had more Miller time in this game. Riley Rousseau's got 100. They've obviously got quicks that, scare you. And all of a sudden, South Africa's looking good, even though they lost. I don't understand.
2 games ago, they bowled out for 100.
Yeah.
They were 9 for 5.
That's right.
Good momentum, though.
Yeah.
Good momentum there. Oh, I mean, they have got good cricketers though, don't they?
Of course, yeah.
So, I mean, Rousseau was just fucking clinical. I feel like they've got a couple of left-handers. I'm thinking David Miller especially, I suppose. De Kock as well. Nice to get some QDK runs in there as well.
And not anchor runs as well.
Not anchor runs.
Was 68 or 43, was it? So I'm going to round that up to 70 or 40 odd.
Perfect.
That's good. You'll take that.
One way, not that way.
That's right.
I thought it was interesting that David Miller came in after Stubbs. They put some both
Stubbsy.
teams. Yeah, that might have been a right hand, left hand.
He needed a bat too, Stubbsy.
He needed the hit. He needed to hit the old avatar there.
And he narrowly avoided that run out of the non-strikers.
Oh yeah, that was very. He was very lucky. Very lucky. Yeah. Interesting.
Could it have been interesting? It was close. It was a close call as far as runouts go.
Yeah, I think the game doesn't go long enough without that sort of stuff going on. So that's good.
I know sometimes when I get the ball at short cover and I'm trying to run out the non-striker, if they're halfway down the wicket, I just sort of wait. I don't do it. No, but I mean that's how we should be referring to these. It's just a run out mischance. Is he doing that at the World Cup final?
Mischance.
Was he even out of his crease?
Do people really want to keep saying this?
Exactly.
India missed other chances in the game. They dropped 3 tough chances. I think it was DK, tough one at short cover. There was Boyzyadev over his head. Siraj caught that one on the fence. I think there might have been another one as well. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there was a few missed chances, and like I don't want to keep talking about Jadeja, though I do always. So do I want to keep talking about him? Yes, I do. There is something, there's an electricity about what Jadeja brings in the field that I feel like India does miss.
True.
Because I don't have that. I mean, Jadeja is, if not the best, he's definitely in the conversation of the best in the world, right?
And it's a conversation we have.
Often. So I think that him being out is just a big miss because, you know, India's fielding in this. Australia's side is a very good fielder. He had a good game in the field. Not so much with the stick, but yeah, I just feel like they're missing a little bit. And in T20 cricket, you drop catches. I mean, Tristan Stubbs took 2 good catches in this game. Not saying it's a difference in the game, but it's just a little 1%ers running out non-strikers in.
I like that, and I don't think there's been a lot of chat about India's fielding. I don't think it's been particularly good. I mean, I'm going back to R.O.W.'s drop catch against Pakistan.
Yeah, that was 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I think that's a good shout about Jadeja. Actually, they will miss. He saves runs and he changes a game for you in the field, so he's a miss.
We have to talk about BAVUMA at the top of the innings. So, I mean, he is the captain. I think his leadership capabilities are sensational, and like I base that on things that happened in the last World Cup in the UAE, right before when Quinton de Kock disappeared for a couple of games there, and he had to lead the team. I think he's an excellent leader. I think he's an excellent captain. He speaks brilliantly. But his runs at the top are an enormous issue for India. There's no doubt about that. He's hit 150 in T20I cricket. That was last year against Ireland. He averages 23, hitting me at 116. If you're going to open the batting, that seems not good enough.
Didn't get picked up in the SA20 as well.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean,
that's
for launching a league in your own country with your best players in your country, and no team elects to pick the captain of the country. Still, right,
BAVUMA? Prefer Bilbo myself.
Yeah.
With respect to Bilbo. Anyway, that's a problem for South Africa to sort out. Let's talk about the second thing, Pez, though. India's bowling struggles again. 5 bowlers in this innings went for 11 or more. Only Ashwin went for under that. Another 35 off 4, going at 8 eights. Akshar Patel bowls 1 over. I mean, they had a sensational game 1, which was literally fucking 6 days ago.
Yes.
But like they had a 9 for 5. They restricted South Africa to 106 for 8. The last game, though, went for 221. This game, they've gone for 227. That first ODI against Australia hit 211 in 19 overs. There's a lot of runs. There's a lot of runs being conceded. Now, they're winning heaps of games. So, but you always want perfection, right? And so you always want to complain about things, and that's what we're doing here, as is the Indian public based on Twitter reactions, as is the great barometer of society. I don't think it was a great audition in this game for Siraj, Boyzyadev, or Deepak Chahar, though Chahar had a pretty good game last game.
Yes.
So, you know, Bumrah is out. We know about this. Arshdeep Singh did not play again today. He was rested for the Australia series. Is that right? He was rested for a couple of games anyway in that Australia series.
He had a back here.
He had a back. Okay. So, you know, we've spoken about it before. There is some issues with the pace department, but you know, is it a concern if they keep winning? The batting's good.
I think it's fair to call it out, but like, when has T20 cricket, especially, or any tournament cricket, ever been a case of a team walking in and on paper being the best team,
right,
and then going on to do it? You know, apart from early Australia times, really. Like, again, like listening to Crick Buzz on the way in as well. I think it was Mr. Jadeja who pointed out that in 1992, Pakistan went into the World Cup without the best bowler in the world, Waqar Younis, and won. You know, India's going in without Bumrah. They've done it before in scenarios where they don't have their best players. You know, I joke about this, but I do think that like the great intangibles of vibe and friendship and what kind of atmosphere and camaraderie you create around your team. Of course, you get your balance and your structures right, but they're going to be the things that make the difference, I reckon, in the big games. Of course, Bumrah's a big miss, but those guys have experience, and I don't know. Like I think India can afford to think themselves as being there and thereabouts, you know?
Oh, of course.
And I don't know, like they have good spinners. There's big grounds in Australia. I don't know, like, and I find it interesting. Like, you look at South Africa and you go, yeah, but look at their attack: Rabada, Nortje, you know, Ngidi. You know, is Ngidi there?
Yeah.
And you know, after that, Pretoria's, etc. So
Moneybags Morris.
Moneybags Morris, of course, Moneybags. But you know. If any country has should have concerns about performing in ICC tournaments at South Africa.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
It's not India. I'm actually impressed truly with like how they've got themselves into a decent enough shape, because I thought during the Asia Cup they did look like they were struggling. But if you take their trajectory from the Asia Cup through to now, where they've basically played two of the best teams in the world, yes, at home, and managed to get Sharma Rohit scoring some runs, KL Rahul scoring runs at 200s, Kohli's got his runs, DK's finishing well, Suryakuma Yadav's probably the best in the world at the moment, the batting's looking good, Akshar Patel's taking wickets, then you're hoping the Quicks and Yuzi Chahal, if he's getting a game, can put in and do the rest, you know? I think they're in decent shape, India. Okay, they're not walking it in, but there you go.
Not for me, mate. I don't think that they'll win a single game in this World Cup. Number 3, Pez, India's very weird batting lineup.
I love this. I love a makeshift batting order.
So, just to be clear, this is the first time they've lost when chasing in T20Is at home for the last 17 games. Right. Are you taking that as a stat? So, basically, every T20 they've chased at home the last 16 times, they've won.
They haven't lost chasing.
Haven't lost chasing in a minute at home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, has there been
October.
Was it a full moon last night?
Yeah, that's right.
Has there been a better dead rubber selection of batting lineup than this? Rishabh opening, nice to get a game. Shreyas Iyer, of course, comes in at 3. That's fine. DK at 4. Sky moved down to 5. Good to shift him around. Try and find Sky's best position, I reckon. And then Akshar Patel at 6. I've got to say, though, DK, pretty good at 4. Hit 46 off 21, something like that.
But it was an absolute fucking road. I'm not sure we've noted that yet. Like it was a 230 should play 220 game.
I mean, Rossouw'S 100 was worth about 25.
Yeah. Rishabh was looking good.
Yeah,
God, he was looking
drives,
good.
man.
Oh, mate, I could watch that for days. Open up the private tab, have a little look-see, make sure no one's around. But then sort of wristed one to someone. For $1. But what? Shreyas missed out. Yeah, DK gets a bit of a hit, so he gets to face a few more balls. He gets to face 20 balls. So he's had a long session at the crease. But when you got Akshar coming in at 6, it's like, well, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah.
What are we actually doing? I did note actually. I wanted to raise this with you. A tweet from. And I saw this from Crick Info, but a tweet from the Pretoria Capitals. Pretoria Capitals.
Yeah, this was weird. It was so confusing.
And it's a picture of Rishabh Pant.
Yeah.
Himself in Capitals gear.
Yeah. Yep.
Playing in the IPL next to Ricky Ponting.
Yeah.
And it says Punt departs with one of the emojis with hearts as eyes. At which point I'm thinking this is the greatest team ever, because they truly. This is true cricket when you're happy for your friend's failure, so you might do better.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Punt, so this is Prithvi Shaw obviously doing this tweet. But is it time to pull things back in our favour? The Punt's wearing Capitals gear and it's Pretoria Capitals.
I felt like I'd fallen into Inception.
Yeah, it's like any other player. Like, could you? But then again, now we're reading it out, so maybe it is quite meta, and we're just talking about the Capitals.
It was
brand
definitely
and it's
meta.
Yeah. It's kind of like that's the future of cricket.
Yeah. We're all just supporting the franchise that an international game, take a photo of him in Delhi Capitals gear, but I support Pretoria Capitals.
Yeah.
Watching an international game with those two countries.
That's right. And there's Ricky Ponting as well, just looking good. So I'm just watching his jawline.
I'm in the sunken place, man.
Yeah,
I'm deep in. Nothing else really to take away from this innings. The game was over for quite a period of time, I suspect. You'd agree with that?
Yeah. Fat lady singing 8 overs in. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Hashtag AskTGC. Namesh wrote in. Hashtag AskTGC. Boy, oys. Your thoughts on an all-star game in cricket? World champs versus rest of world or some shit? They used to do a version of it back in the day with Africa 11, Asian 11, etc. Cheers. Enjoyed the pod with Elise Perry.
Well, I mean, look, I agree with this idea, because if cricket needs anything, it's more games. And more
couple of games.
And more teams to follow and to get across.
Yeah.
I also think that guys have a lot of time in their schedule.
Well, I'm up for it if guys are in a bubble. They've got to come into the bubble.
Get into the
Quarantine
bubble.
2 weeks. Let's make that clear.
That's right.
Well, no mishaps. I don't want guys getting sick.
No, I like the concept. Like I always wondered what it would be like to play for rest of the world. You know, like there's something sort of inherently arrogant about the other team. He's like, mate, we're Australia.
Yeah.
And you're simply rest of the
the
world.
rest of the world.
You're the dregs of the world that exists after that.
Yep.
And imagine playing for rest of the world. I'm like, conceptually, rest of the world should be the biggest attainment you could have. Like, it's better than playing for your country. I'm now representing...
The catchment area is big.
It's a big rest of the world. It's like, it's as close as playing for Earth as possible, minus one country.
Right. Well, I want to take this a step further, though. I want Earth versus Mars. I want us to play against Mars.
Yep.
Well, I don't know what the decks are like in Mars. Spinning, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, you could rag it up there.
And as we know, against a spirit of cricket if it spins too much.
Yeah, of course. Well, Elon Musk wants to do that, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
You get that spaceship you can take up. You can take one of every kind of type of person. You'd probably take Axar up there, wouldn't you?
Mm. Yeah, even though it's like that stuff is like, here's what life would look like on Mars, and it's all like futuristic and stuff. It's like, why? Just do it here first. Let's have a look at it here first.
Yeah.
I guess there's councils to get through and stuff here. It's different on Mars.
That's right.
I don't know. I'm just
overpopulation.
I'm looking forward to Earth versus Mars. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
At a neutral venue.
A boy can dream, can't he?
Let us know who you want in your Mars 11. See you guys later.